Skilled Creators with Désiré, the Brand Maverick. Before we get into it, I just wanted to thank you for following me into this tilted rabbit hole where we learn about the entrepreneur journey and all the magnificent and terrifying things that come with it. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to increase your brand exposure, network internationally, and gain insights, then follow the breadcrumbs in the show notes to my website where you can find everything you need to start your business, grow your brand, and accelerate your income today. I even have a live show every Monday that you can attend. It's free brand awareness and exposure, and you get to meet some really cool people on the show. It's such incredible value, and you don't have to pay a penny for it. Now it's time. Let's jump straight into the rabbit hole.
LinkedIn has really destroyed the way that we communicate, and people have become like, even the lines between self-promotion and spam have been blurred. So if, for instance, you're getting non-stop unsolicited stuff and it's from somebody who you absolutely have no idea and zero connection with, somebody random in a random country, then that is spam. But there is self-promotion, which if I don't tell you what I do, you're never going to know what I do.
No.
Unless you
And I think a
randomly
lot of
see
people,
it.
yeah, and that's what I deal with. A lot of people don't know how to deal with LinkedIn and use it in the proper ways and the proper tools. It's like they're trying to use it, and they're trying to use it to do a hammer to screw something in the wall, whether you should be using a screwdriver. LinkedIn is a really good tool, but a lot of people are misusing it and miscommunicating with it and using it.
Absolutely.
And don't really agree with the sales navigation part of it, because at the end of the day, it's about building that relationship with that person and saying, look, absolutely, let's build that person. And the thing is, I also believe that everything should be old school terminology of, actually, we need to see the whites of the eyes, and our goal and aim in ever what we do, it should be, I use like a spider web, is having that face-to-face conversation. Obviously, we have it a lot more different of, we're having it on Zoom, we're having it with that, but it's how do we make sure that everything goes back to getting back to having that conversation, seeing those whites of eyes, and actually saying to that person, right, here's how we sell, going back and selling without selling.
That is absolutely true. It is, but it's difficult. And I mean, there's a lot of people out there, even myself, for instance, like I offer this podcast as one of the ways to kind of get my own message out there along with everybody else's. But you may or may not know what I do based on the fact that we're just doing a podcast. You might automatically assume that I do podcasts for a living, and I actually don't. So this is not my job. This is just almost like a side hobby that I love doing. I love introducing people. I love talking to people.
I've already checked you out. So yeah, brand marketing, you help people get their brand out there, make sure they get their marketing message out there. So that the thing is, and lots of people make this mistake with marketing, it's not about making sales. It's about creating awareness that creates opportunities that you can make the sales.
Oh my God, you've got this. You've got it. Do you know how many people don't know that? Do you know how many people tell me? Like, I had somebody literally message me yesterday and they were like, marketing isn't necessary. And I'm like, okay, you try doing sales without any marketing material and then come back to me. Or branding isn't necessary. Like, this is just this. All you need to know is cash flows and tax incentives. And I was like, that is literally like the tag end of it. How do you get to your cash flow without a brand? So this person who has had like multiple businesses. And I was thinking, nah, something's just not right there. So, but
and it's also difficult as well, because you've got to put your own stamp on it and be a little bit cheeky and finding that way that's going to kind of resonate with your audience and being there a little bit cheeky in different ways. You've got to experiment, you've got to explore, you've got to encourage yourself to branch out, and that's what I've got to. I have to kind of give a little bit more. I am going to be looking at back and doing a bit more TikTok, a bit more YouTube stuff as well. But that's the thing, it's about getting that, being consistent, creating that awareness, so therefore you can create more conversations so you can create more sales.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, you're bang on the money there, honestly. Like, that is absolutely true. So, are we ready to get into it?
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so welcome to the Entrepreneur Spotlight, Scott. It is amazing to have you here today. Just for those tuning in, do you want to just give them your name of your company, and tell them a little bit about what you do?
So my name is Scott Warren, and I run a company called Phoenix Pricing, which is all about helping businesses understand what their true value is so they get fully what they deserve for their business. A lot of businesses do not understand about how to price their goods and services, so therefore they're missing out on the opportunities that they can do to improve their business and improve their personal life as well.
That is an incredible kind of sum up, because that's so true. I mean, I know people will look at my pricing and go, £7, she's absolutely bonkers. I'm going for high volume. That's my lowest ticket offer. I'm going for massive volume on that. But I've also got stuff that's £17,000. 4 years ago, if you told me I'll be charging, or 10 years ago, if you told me I'll be charging for one of my services £17,000, I don't think I would have made £17,000 in a year or far less. Charge one service for that, So you're absolutely right. People aren't. I don't think they're brave enough. What do you think is used to go with pricing?
Yeah, I think it is absolutely. They're not brave enough, and I think it's also the same tricks of all of what you say. Sometimes knowing where you want to go for high volume, where you go for low pricing, but the thing is, most businesses can go for that high pricing, low kind of things. Everyone's thinking, oh yes, we're all about competition. We've got to have as many clients as we can, and because we're going to have loads of clients, then we're going to have the money. And they haven't got to that relationship where actually what you've got to do is have. I'm doing clients right now where we're building a business on 10, 15 clients. That's all we've got.
Yeah.
Because we look at what it is they're going to charge because their value is what they can do. You're an expert in your field. It's getting over that confidence. I mean, especially UK. We are so not confident about charging money, doing things that we want to do. But actually, by having a business that has less clients, more money, creates more opportunities. And not just opportunities for business, but for life as well. Because business and life is all interconnected.
Absolutely, especially for us entrepreneurs and consultants, because you can't do one without the other. And it is very, very difficult, I think. And it's about almost making that jump, so closing your eyes and making that jump. Like with both of those services that I mentioned earlier, like £7 is one of those things where literally that's not even, I probably spend that at Starbucks a week, and I don't really go out. Like if I look at it and I think, what have I ever spent like £7 for, with the exception of an app here and there when you buy a game, where you pay to remove ads from a game that you're playing. Like it's stuff like that. It's so small, but that particular one is designed for third world countries. So people who really can't afford a full-time consultant, so they can get part of it, but just not like, there's different levels as well. But it is a way to make that information more accessible to the people who actually need it, because that's one of my core passions, I guess, is to kind of help people and get that message out there. So that's why the pricing is like wide. It's very, very, very wide, and each pricing level is designed for a very specific type of target audience as well, which I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't do. So they don't segment it properly. So they think it's a wide net. And I am so guilty of doing this, especially more recently as well, where I've had somebody just kind of tell me, oh, by the way, I don't know who you're trying to target. And I'm like, oh, because I'm so busy doing the work and trying to get all the background stuff done and rushing, and I'm not actually paying attention to the small things like, oh, does this communication even make sense? And I'm a brand expert, and I've made that mistake. So, and it's not that I'm bad at what I do. I'm very good and very focused on my clients. But that's the thing. I'm so focused on my clients that I forget that I also have a business. I also have a brand. That means that same level of care and attention, if not more care and attention, because people are actually using my own brand to judge me on. And here I am just going, oh yeah, I'll just do that next week. I'll just do that next week, like everybody else does. And then next week turns into next year, turns into next decade, so it's a very, very common thing to do. And it's
and that's what so many people do. They're trying, and that's it. So many people are trying to chase that because they're trying to do too much, and they're trying to bite off too much that they can do. And there are lots of the clients I work on. I say, right, this is what does your working week look like, and how do we fit that into a structure? So therefore, you then have Thursday, Friday afternoon that you can work on your business, or Monday morning. That means you can work on your business, dealing with this because it's that detail you need. All the overtime can be, and we say, right, okay, how are you prioritizing your week, and what is it you're looking to do each week, each month, each year? Keep building on that kind of relationship, and that's what you've got to do. And it's not going, right, okay. And I see this quite often, where people are saying, well, I need 20 sales a week, and you're going, well, how are you going to do 20 sales in a week? You realise you've got to do, so your kind of conversion rate is 1 in 4. So that means you've got to have 80 conversations. So you've got 80 hours in your week already gone. Okay, so that's what you've got to do. Then you've got to add on top of that all what you've got to do with your admin, your communication, your marketing, everything else to go through. You're up to 100 hours. So now, okay, we've got now 7 weeks, got 7 days in that week. You're doing 100 hours to get where you want to be. Why not? Let's have a look at it and say, right, let's go and do 1 or 2 sales a week. Therefore, you then have to do 8 conversations in that week. Make it much more simple. 2 hours each and every day, having that conversation, getting the same results, same value, but you're spending less more time on doing those other things that you need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. And so how exactly does your service work?
It works in a nice little flow way. So I do a pricing workshop where people will come on and learn the program that I've built. I have built a pricing program where we look at how to actually charge and value your skills, your expertise, your knowledge, what you have in your brain, and how to get real value for that. Then we look at costs. And a lot of people make a lot of mistakes in business around costs. And it's not just thinking about, okay, what is actually the business costs? It's thinking about all the intangible stuff as well, but also your household. Because at the end of the day, your business has got to create a dividend that's paying for your energy, your food, your broadband, your lifestyle. And there is probably about 90% of businesses are not putting that tangible. The business is got to earn that amount of money. So we actually factor that. I actually factor that into your pricing as well, to making sure that you understand your dividend at the end of the month. So therefore, you're not going to be running yourself into trouble. And this is how I got into it, where I was actually dealing with business owners that were saying to be successful by their accountants, but yet they had over £1,000 debt on their energy bill because they couldn't pay it, because they weren't making enough money. So that's what I look at. Then I look at profit.
I've also seen the flip side as well, where the owners are very, very, very cash rich, and the businesses are just kind of like plodding along. But that's kind of the situation that you want to be in. You want to be, as an business owner, you want to be very cash rich, and you want your business to just about be good, not necessarily making loads and loads and loads and loads of profit, because then, sorry, but I don't really want to be giving 20% of that away all the time. But you know what I mean? You don't want to, that is literally, you're getting taxed for doing well. You're getting penalized for doing well, but it's part of doing really well.
It's a little bit more, absolutely. You've got to be careful about doing things. You've got to be careful about your dividends. You've got to be careful about everything else and being punishable. But there is a lot of people that are making mistakes on there as well, because I actually do know a lot about the tax side. I'm not a proper qualified accountant, but actually people come to me more than accountants for accounting advice because they've not been told stuff or not getting stuff done.
Don't talk to me about bad accountants. I've
picked up quite a few.
I've had my fair share of that, and I finally found somebody who is absolutely incredible. She is literally my lifesaver. Like, I'll just leave it like that. Like, she's literally saved the skin off my backside. Like, wow, this woman is a force of nature. And thank God that she happened to fall into my lap through a friend of a friend. And it was, when you look back on things and you're like, in retrospect, things make sense. But in the moment, you're like, oh my God, it's hellfire and brimstone. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. I can't deal with this. And I'm not a numbers person. So I'm one of those people, I look at numbers and I'm like, right, delegate, not my thing. I don't do the numbers thing because it's not me.
I do the numbers thing. I do the numbers, and I know the numbers, and I know what you should be doing on your tax, and I produce some really good sets of accounts that yeah, we don't want to go into the subject, but they're going like, why has my accountant not done this? You're not even doing this,
Yeah.
and you produce. I can understand of what's going on, what's happening. You're dealing with everything. You're sorting everything else out for me. I've got a fully qualified chartered accountant who's not even nowhere near it, and I can understand.
No.
It goes back to what I do. I understand.
I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this publicly, and my other half is probably gonna try to chop my head off for this, but I actually got a fine from HMRC because of something my accountant did not notify me about, and I had no idea. And this accountant of mine at the time, I told them, I was very upfront. I said, I'm a creative person. I do words. I do art. I do not do numbers. I am what they call number dyslexic. I actually do have dyslexia as well. But it's, that thing. But, like, I can't do, like, thinking about it, my anxiety, or talking about it, my anxiety is going up because we're talking about a thing that contains numbers. And I'm just like, no. But that, honestly, I had that very, 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 like, baseline conversation with them, and I didn't know any of this stuff. So, you know, it was really scary kind of when this new accountant came in and she was like, oh, this, and I was like, I'm sorry, what is this? I had no idea. There was so many things. And when she started bringing it up, I was crying, because I was like, oh my God, for 4 years I had this person who cost me so much money, thousands of pounds, and literally, because his fee was obviously in the thousands, and my tax bills were in the thousands. And now, funny enough, I'm now owed money. So I was like, oh great, that's great to have, you know, some of it coming back to me now, because I've overpaid on my tax. But, you know, if I didn't find this one person, then, oh my God. So for anybody who is listening out there, anybody who's watching this, make sure and get yourself a damn good accountant, and somebody who cares, because not just somebody who's just going to sit there and just kind of crunch the numbers and that's it. Somebody who actually will help, because especially in the UK, I'm pretty sure it's the same in the US as well, but I know in developing nations, there are a lot more corners you can kind of cut into. Trinidad is one of them. I grew up in a third world country, so I'm very much aware of how many things can kind of get brushed under the carpet and you're okay with it, but you can't actually do that in a developed country, and you have to be very, very careful. I actually did not know, and this is something that I think it's something that I think needs to be said, owning a business in this country. I did not know that if you did not file your accounts, you can actually be prosecuted for it and get a criminal record.
Yeah.
Now,
absolutely.
that was, when I heard that, I was a bit like, I'm sorry, what? Because I was late on filing my accounts, anxiety and bad accounting and all that jazz. But that was one of those things, and I could not. When it was said to me, I was like, I don't drive over the speed limit because I'm afraid of going to jail. It's ridiculous. So now I'm being told that this one thing with this bad accountant is now going to cost me the one thing that I'm like petrified of. Oh my God. You know, and that's the thing, like make sure and get yourself somebody who really, really, really cares. And I know I'm going on a little bit about this, but I think it is really important for me to kind of drill that in.
It's so important. It is absolutely important. This is kind of the one thing I picked up as well, and I can help out a little bit. Obviously, I know some stuff because I take everything to board, you know, and I say to people, you know, I do have a few people that I can do and support with. And lots of the accountants will go, okay, you need to be doing this because you need to do limited company and everything else. And I go, well, let's find out what is needed for you, first of all. And I'll go, hold my hands up, I'm not qualified. But I find out what is going to matter to you, because at the end of the day, you might be able to do it sole trader, which is so much easier. And the thing is, the way I do it, I can actually have your accounts prepared. So therefore, you just got to do that kind of information. I can literally go, there you go, there's your accounts done. All of it's done already, done, dusted. If you're keeping me up to date, you're kind of sending me all the information, I'll have all your accounts prepared, ready in May. So therefore, when it comes to that kind of that 6 months later, when we do it in October, November, the accounts are filed on time, on deadline, with the backed up information. So therefore, all the people can go, well, this is what you're doing. This is how you're doing it. We're breaking it down in a nice, simple way. We're working it out to all the tax kind of regulations of what they want to do. and they can see it, they can track it, no problems at all. And I can create books with the system that I do. So therefore, we can actually look at what you're doing in 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. We can go through it all.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. It's making it so that making it easy. Accountants can sometimes, what I sometimes say is they talk like a widget and they're trying to talk technical to people. Let's make it easy, make it understandable, but also let's make sure that information, because what I do and why people like it is I don't just go, right, okay, here's your gross, here's your net profit, but what is your pure profit? What is it that you're going to put into your back pocket to make sure that A, your bills are going to be paid, but also what is it that you want to achieve and how you want to live your life and how to build with your family? And I do a little bit more, because then what I do with the pricing thing is we then build a sales plan. So therefore you know your numbers. So therefore we work out how much you can achieve in the kind of hours and structure you've got. So the contracts you can achieve and the volume of money you're going to achieve. And it may sometimes seem a bit scary because we're building a retainer in your way. So we're going to start off in a loss, but in 6 months, if you're achieving those results, you're going to be able to negotiate that. And it's being that open, honest, and say, right, we've got to build you from where you are, from 0 to 10.
Yeah.
But building that is going to take time. Yes, you're going to have to look at it. So therefore, you go, right, we're looking at one contract. That means you may not be able to cover your costs. But by the time you come to month 4, month 5, you then start to make that profit. Then you can start to eat into that high level in where you need to be. Then when it comes to month 10, you're making that money, you're making the pure profit, and we can have those nice conversations where we're going, well, what does success mean to you? And success shouldn't mean, well, the business is doing this, is this. It should be, well, I'm going to take my family onto a holiday that I've never took for the last 5 years. Or I'm going to be able to make those choices at the weekend that actually I can go and spend a weekend and go away for a weekend with my family, where I've had to go and work. And those are the choices that I want people to make.
Absolutely. I think it's absolutely life-changing work that you do. And I mean that in a most literal way, because there are a lot of people out there who are struggling, especially right now. We are living in the middle of a cost of living crisis here in the UK. And I think abroad is also facing the same issues. I've got family that lives abroad and I'm hearing the same thing from everywhere. But to be honest, I think the work that you're doing is so important to life in general as well. And I think we do take that for granted. We take for granted the fact that, you know, we do live in the UK and we are privileged, but at the same time, there are people out there who are literally not eating so that they can feed their kids. And I know business people who are currently doing that, struggling with their business and trying to make ends meet. And it's very stressful because they're trying to do it by themselves, that they're keeping it all to themselves because they feel like they can't talk to anyone. And that's the problem. That's the biggest issue that we've got at the moment, where we're not talking to each other because everyone's afraid of being judged.
No.
So for instance,
absolutely.
I wouldn't have told anybody. I did it myself. And again, I know I keep coming back to this NEXUS program because I'm like obsessed about it. It's my 2024 obsession. But I literally, this is the reason why I started it, is that we can have these conversations in a safe place. It's closed. It's among people who are like-minded. And I think we need to remove the stigma about talking about this kind of stuff, because if we remove it, then people will be a lot less stressed. Because, for instance, if I had opened up and told people I'm having problems with my accountant, I'm not sure, can somebody take a look at this? Then somebody in my network would have come up and been like, that guy is not working for you. He's just taking your money. He's taking you for a ride and you're going to get in trouble eventually. I didn't do that though.
It's surround yourself with the right people.
Judged. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But
And the thing is,
until you have those people around you, until you have those conversations, you won't know.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We have this kind of fear factor that people are going to judge and everything else, but most people will be out there to help. You know, at the end of the day, I've been in the same position. You know, this is what I've got. You know, it took me about 3 years to get my story out there. You know, and I've got a little more confident with it. You know, 2016, I lost everything. I was actually homeless. I was actually sofa surfing at that point. So yeah, 2016, I actually had nothing. I was in a minus equity. So the thing is, what people are talking to me about, oh, well, I'm struggling to put food on the table, I'm struggling to pay the bills. I get it. You know,
Yeah,
it
you've been
doesn't
there.
worry
You've
me.
been
It
there. You've
doesn't
done
faze
that.
me.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
Yep.
If someone came to me and
Same.
said, I
It's
got
funny. It's funny that
£10,000,
you say 2016 because that was the year that I lost everything as well. It was the year that I saw me moving to the UK was like me at my last straw because I literally bought a one-way ticket back because I was born here and grew up out in the Caribbean. But I bought a one-way ticket and that was me. That was a gamble. That wasn't even a risk. That was just me going, right, this is it. Just do it and see what happens. And I closed my eyes and crossed my fingers and toes and everything and just kind of went, okay, we're doing the thing. We're doing the big scary thing. And somehow we're going to make this work. But everybody has said that it was the craziest thing that anybody that I've ever known has done. So, because it was risky. Because 2016 was the year I lost everything and I was at my wit's end. And, you know, when you've got nothing left to lose, you tend to just make those kind of decisions. And it's a really scary place to
people
be.
don't
And
understand
you know that.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is, and I know what's going on with those people, and what you end up doing is you become rabbit's headlights. You almost don't want to make a decision because you feel so boxed in what you're doing, because you're going, well, I'm struggling here. I'm struggling to put the heating on that I've got to then wrap up in bed every night and go home. I'm too afraid to switch the TV on, switch the heating on, that I'm literally just have to go to bed and cuddle up every night. You know, and they feel afraid that, you know, people are going to judge, and, you know, they feel like, well, there's no real options and ways out of it. And it's just saying that actually there is ways and options. And it's just saying, right, let's have a look at this and see what we can do to get this into a better place. And
absolutely.
the scary stuff is sometimes these people are actually doing okay business. So they just don't, like you're saying, they've got those fear of numbers. And the thing is, they haven't got that person around them that goes, right, let's have a look at this. Let's see what we can do and work out our plan. And let's see that. And the thing is, I'm willing to take someone on a trial basis to say, let's have a look and see what we can do. And let's see what we can get. So therefore, we can then move you forward. So therefore, you're not in that situation.
Absolutely.
You know, because the only thing is, you're going to be scared to move forward because you feel like everyone's going to there to be taking advantage because you haven't got that money. And the thing is, you know, you've got the passion, you've got the will, you've got the skills, you've got the expertise. Let's make 2024 your year. Let's make it this year and make it that start of really building that business, also building that lifestyle. And that's what you've got to really say to it. And having that courage to say that I don't want to be this anymore. I've got nothing to lose. I'm not in a great place. I've now got to be unfearful about what it is, and let's achieve those results that I want. And making those steps forward. And sometimes it's about making that first step is the hardest step that you can make. And it's doing that and saying let's make that year where we make that first step and see where it takes us.
So what kind of clientele are you interested in working with?
Just those clients that really want to take the business to the next level in 2024. You know, those businesses like what we talked about where they're not having that lifestyle they want. It's no real A type of business. I don't have. I'm business agnostic. I deal with pricing. So the thing is, most businesses will be charging a price. It's about that business owner that wants to make its year a success. And going from that point of, I'm now struggling to pay those bills, I'm struggling to make a success of what it is.
Yeah.
And I just want to make 2024 my.
All right, Scott, I've got a bit of a question for you. I don't normally do this, but if someone raised their prices but did not improve their brand, how would you think that would be kind of taken on board with newer clients or a much more elite tier of target?
It would not go down well. You know, we make sure that the thing is, when you're improving your pricing, if you're improving where you're going, it all depends on how you're improving your pricing. And again, the question is, how do you improve your pricing? If you're looking to improve your pricing, that you're attracting a more higher clientele, then yes, you need to make sure your brand reflects a new clientele. But if you're just the thing is, lots of people are not charging enough for their current clientele. So therefore, if you're depending on what they're doing and how they're doing it. So the thing is, I've seen people where they're charging like £20 an hour for their services. And I'm going, how the hell are you doing that kind of thing? So therefore, we need to check it up. So therefore, what I do as well, the thing is what we didn't got into that good flow as well, I look at the coaching side. I look at what it is that they're doing to look at everything they're going forward. So I don't just go, right, there you go, let's raise your prices, off you go and do it, and let's go and let's see what you can achieve. We say, right, okay, right, great, fantastic. We've got that price, but there's a lot more that needs to do because A, they got to have that confidence to build up into it, but it's not just then, let's have a look and see what we can do of improving that brand, improving that image of what they understand about that business, and that being a reputable quality service in what they're doing. And it's there going forward is a lot more that goes into it. And that's the thing, is knowing where they are and how they go forward. And I think it goes into that kind of pre-conversation of I see so many businesses who feel they haven't got that confidence, haven't got a confidence around their brand. So therefore they just go in, right, I'll tell you what, I'll go onto LinkedIn and I'm going to try and sell through LinkedIn because I'm just going to spam people and say, look, I've got this wonderful kind of service. Everyone's going to go buy for it. Oh, I'm a VA and I'm going to go, right, I'm doing this service and doing this. Come and buy from me. They're not taking that step back into what they're doing and building that brand and what they're doing it. And it takes
because
that
they're
time
working
and
from a
effort
place
and
of panic.
energy.
They're working from a place of panic, and I've been there. I've done it.
Yeah,
I've done it. I'm guilty of it. I think we've all done it at some point where we've gone, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I can't do this, or you kind of watch the numbers kind of dwindle, and then you're like, panic spam. Literally, it's a panic spam, and it happens. It happens to the best of us, and even me, who knows that is completely detrimental for your brand. I've done it before, because I have been in a place of panic. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I've messed up more times than I would like to admit, but it's because I've messed up. We can pass this information on now and go, okay, so you don't make these mistakes because this is what I've done and this does not work. So let Scott and Desi just kind of show you how to not do this. Just don't go there. Like, you got this. Don't worry about it. Don't panic.
And you can, and the thing is, by doing that, and I can say that after December, I was literally having people almost chuck themselves at me, and I was like going, I've switched off everything, and I've still got clients coming forward. I'm still earning money, and yet I've switched off. I wasn't doing anything. I got to December, I knew that I had too much. I've actually created a really good October, November. I kept my consistency in what I did. I switched everything off in November because I knew I had too much. And guess what? I still landed 3 more clients in December, even with switched off everything. That means you know that you're in a good place when you're switching off everything and you're still landing clients. And I'm going like, if I don't, I'm like sitting there, I've got to turn this tap off. Oh, I've turned all the taps off. It's still coming at me. I was like, hold on, I need to push this back a bit because otherwise I'll be going, okay, well, we'll meet Christmas Day. I'm not going to be doing that.
Oh, I did that. I did I was planning to do a live on Christmas Day because it was a Monday. And I was like, no, I've got a Monday live show. This is consistency. And my phone was confiscated because I am so obsessed with what I do that I have no off switch. But it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. What I do, I'm obsessed with it. I'm not doing it out of panic. I'm not doing it out of panic. I'm doing it because I absolutely love what I do, and I would rather do what I do all day long than cook Christmas dinner. So that was my way out. I was like, right, cool. I've got a live show. I can't do Christmas dinner.
Well, I cooked 3 Christmas dinners this year, and I cooked on the New Year's Day dinner. Yeah, a spread for 10 people twice.
Chef's hat off to you, sir, because there ain't no way you would get me in that kitchen. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I'd make everybody eat bread and butter.
Everyone enjoyed the food. Everyone really enjoyed the food as well, which is a really nice compliment. But yeah, cooking, and then cooked in the evening as well, and then cooked a bit of stuff in the evening as well. So yeah, I spent quite a bit of time in the kitchen at Christmas.
That's excellent. That's awesome. I mean, as long as it's something that you love doing. I just don't like cooking at all. I like cooking. I like cooking. In terms of things that I would completely just throw away or completely delegate in terms of household stuff, I would probably delegate household cleaning and cooking. So I'd have a live-in chef and somebody who just kind of keeps on top. I don't dust. I do not like dusting. It's very cathartic every now and then.
Yeah.
but the level of dust that builds up in this house is kind of unreal. So my sinuses are really bad. So I need to almost live in like a dust-free bubble, but that then requires me doing the dusting, which I hate. So I just kind of go, okay, if I could delegate those out. I love doing laundry. Laundry's easy. I like sorting and chucking it in. I mean, I don't do the laundry really. The washing machine does it. So, it's just moving it from one machine to another, and that's easy enough. But yeah, the cleaning and the cooking, if I could have a live-in chef, I would. So that is literally the goal. The goal is to build up the lifestyle so that I can get my live-in chef.
Yep.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
or I
get
can
the
at least
cleaner in
have.
first. I'd get the cleaner. I get it
No,
with the cleaner. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I get a
I'll
cleaner.
get the
I
chef
would get a
in.
cleaner in. And,
I'll get the chef.
You get the chef in. I get the cleaner. I get the cleaner. Because again, I don't mind doing a bit. Quite
Yeah.
easy and quite happy to do that bit of cleaning. But it's that level of detail, and it's having that person that comes in a bit each time and just doing that bit of cleaning. And
Yeah.
we're busy people.
See, the reason why I would have somebody who would literally cook is because I will forget to eat. I'm guilty of it. I'm so obsessed with what I do that I will just not eat. And then I will grab whatever I can and then just run and go. And I'm back onto the next thing. So I'm constantly I'm like a hamster in a wheel that does not stop. But it's because I love what I do. So I'm like, I don't ever want to get off of this. So I'm like, right,
Yeah,
cool,
I
grab
get
Gatorade
it.
and go. Like I've actually got like this huge thing next to me full of coffee because I know I'm going to be here all day. So I'm like, right, cool. Just make the whole day's worth and just sit it here. So at least I know I've got a fluid intake for the day. Otherwise, I'd be sat here and I'll have sips of water, but I won't drink as much as I should be. So that's how I have to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll never get done. So I would have prepped meals done for the week. So it's quick, easy, just get it all done. And I won't prep for myself. Otherwise, I'll be literally living off of chili con carne for the rest of my life, I think. I can cook, and I absolutely, when I do, it's really good food. I just do not like cooking. So being in the kitchen exhausts me. So, and I get really, really tired after because I guess I put so much energy into it that by the time I'm done, I'm just like, I'm so tired I can't even eat the food that I've cooked. So I'm like, I'd rather just not do that. I'd rather just delegate that out because I love food and I love like cuisine. I'm just like, I'm a massive, massive foodie. Again, this is yet another conversation. It's funny because they always say that when you talk to me, we end up talking about food. And here we go again. Food topic is back.
Yeah.
So at least I'm
Food topic
consistent, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So how much time do you spend working on your business, not in your business?
So I spend most Friday afternoons on my business.
So you probably
I dedicate
spend
that Friday after 2 to 3
so
hours on the business.
So it's 2 to 3 hours on the business and the rest of it's in.
Yeah. So
Good job.
I'll spend that time looking at what it is, how things are, planning all the social media stuff, looking at it. But getting all that kind of figure out where I'm going to post, how I'm going to do it, how that structure is, what I'm going to be talking about this week. So spend a bit of time Friday afternoons. I normally shut everything off around about 12:30. I make sure I have my lunch, have a bit of a breather, and then I get back onto work from about 2:00 to about 4:00, and spend that time working on what it is, looking at the week, digressing it, and then moving forward to next week.
Nice. That's a really good way to do it. I used to do mine on a Sunday. Now I just don't really work on weekends. So my week planning tends to happen almost as and when. It's almost as though, because I'm a massive calendar addict. So I'm literally in my calendar all day long. So I actually no longer need to kind of sit down and look at my week. My week's kind of already done because it's constantly kind of shifting as I kind of go move things around. So I've always got a good idea of what I'm going to be doing in the next week. But like even last night, I sat down with the family and went through the next 2 months because I have to. So I'm like, right, what is the plan for the next 2-3 months? And let's try and get things kind of organized. Otherwise, if it's not in the calendar, it does not exist for me. So, that's just my little thing. I'm a big fan of time blocking. So, because if you don't block out that time, then you'll never actually get around to doing it.
Same here. And the thing is as well, what I end up doing is what I call affirmations and focus. So I will look at that calendar for next week and go, sometimes I'll have those conversations and I'll go, right, who do I feel that's going to be there, is going to be tired to look at them and focus on them being a client. It sounds a bit weird because you've not had a conversation, but you just say, right, this person, this is what you're looking at doing, this is what my numbers are, these are people that I'm going to look to target to be a customer. Not in a bad way, but just in that mental focus, that mental preparation. And that's the thing, and that's what people don't do.
That's really important to sales, though, because sales is a lot like hunting. And this sounds really crude because I'm completely against animal abuse and I'm completely anti-hunting anyway. But to hunt, you need to aim. You need to You need to put the crosshair. You need to basically put your target in the crosshairs. You need to exhale. You need and you need that time. I mean, archery is a skill that I think is just absolutely incredible because you need to prepare for it, and it's in small motions that you're preparing, and it's the same way with sales. With sales, you have to prepare before you speak with someone. You have to think, okay, what do I want out of this conversation? Otherwise, you're just having conversations. And again, guilty as charged because I absolutely love just having conversations. So I have had many conversations that have turned into absolutely nothing, and I've gotten what I wanted out of the conversation. I've got loads of dopamine from that because I've just loved speaking to people, but it didn't do anything for the business. It helps me because I got that feel good factor, but it didn't do anything for the revenue. And unfortunately, I need to put the revenue as a priority as well. And I didn't, and I wasn't doing it properly for years.
And that's the same here. I wasn't doing it properly for years, and that's the thing. And it's about saying to that person, what is it you want? So these conversations you've got planned for next week, what is the outcome that you want? And the thing is, sometimes you've got to not say about what it is for you as well. It might be for the other person. You've got to think about, right, what is this outcome going to be out of all these conversations? So I've got 8 conversations going on to the business next week. What is the result going to be for each of these conversations? And how are we going to look at what we're going to progress them forward? And that's the focus that you need to have. And that's why you can't go, okay, keep going. That little bit of downtime, that little bit of quality helps you get your focus going forward to make sure, right, okay, that's now going to be a client. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, when I put that X and say be that client, they become a client.
Absolutely. So what has been the hardest thing about entrepreneurship for you?
I think it's been that kind of that what we just talked about is that kind of that preparation, that mental aspect of it as well. I've always been a good doer. I'm a doer. I'm a really good talker. I'm a really good doer. I'm doing all of that. But it's that focus, the dedication into what I do. I really I'm passionate about helping people. I think we both come from that kind of way. But realising that focus, that dedication, and taking that bit of step back to go forward, to really go, right, this is how I can really make that impact of, that's what I need to do to take it. Because instead of just going, okay, right, let's just go off and run around and see what I can do and beat hella chicken, that little bit of focus has helped me to really achieve those results.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely love that. So what would be your parting gift of wisdom for those in the audience?
Parting gift, good question. I think the parting gift is, no matter where you are, whatever you're doing today, there's always a better way forward. You just got to know that there is no judgment and no acceptance. You just got to take that step and leap forward to have that better future for yourself.
Oh my God, that is incredible. That's very moving. Very moving. Guys, I'm going to snip that out, and that's going to be part of our social media content because that is powerful stuff. That is, honestly. So how can people find you?
So they can find me on LinkedIn. I will send you my details. Remember that as well.
Yes.
So I'll send you obviously through LinkedIn, through emails. So I'll send you, that's the details, so they can contact me through that. And also my telephone number.
All of those details will be in the show notes as well. So don't worry, it'll all be in the show notes. So everywhere where this podcast is going to be published, it will be in the description as well. So guys, make sure and click on the links in that description, check him out on LinkedIn, and make sure to go and connect with him. And honestly, do you have a 15-minute
taster call or anything like that, or do you just do your
Yeah,
workshop?
absolutely. Yeah, we always have a 15-minute, half an hour taster call. So we got to make sure that these people are going to be right for me, as well as being
Yeah.
there. I've got to be right for them. So there will be a
Absolutely.
15 minutes, 20-minute call just to have a good old chat to see where you are and see what you want to do to take you to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely. It has been absolutely amazing having you here on the Entrepreneur Spotlight today. You've been an incredible guest. So thank you so much for all of your insight and the great conversation as well.
Look, thank you for having me, Désiré, and thank you for the offer to come on. It's been an absolute pleasure conversation.
Thank you so much.
You can listen to this podcast and many more on tiltnexus.com, which is our free platform for entrepreneurs across the world. See you on the Nexus.